You get to the civil authority in Seattle and Washington. You get to Governor Jay Inslee, who you probably forgot ran for president. I kind of forgot that, but there he is. Jay Inslee was asked, what's going on in this freaking autonomous zone? Are we some two-bit banana republic? Inslee's response puts his head in the sand and says, I don't know nothing about it.
Governor, I'd like to ask you about what's going on in Seattle. There's this thing called the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. What's your thought on that? The fact that the protesters have taken that over and not allowing people to come and go freely? And then regarding the National Guard.
Well, that's news to me, so I'll have to reserve any comment about it. I have not heard anything about that from any credible source. Not that you're not credible, it's just like before I espouse an opinion, I should know of which I speak.
What you're saying, terrorists took over one of the most important city in our state? I mean, I just don't know. And you're saying that's the main news story and it's the only thing that's being reported in Washington? I guess, well, it's just so funny because I guess I haven't seen the news. Please don't ask me about that because I don't have an answer. He doesn't have an answer, and he's not doing a very effective job of lying about it either because he doesn't have an answer. He's got to lie about it because he doesn't have an answer, because in his rhetoric, in his ideology, he's supporting these wackos and he's seeing in real time the effects of that. He's saying, one, it's going to take power away from him, but two, it doesn't look like it does in the picture books, okay? It doesn't look like it does in the leftist daydreams of this utopian vision, because so long as human nature is broken, you're not going to get that utopia on earth. And he's seeing it played out in real time. And it's left his ideology exposed as bankrupt. So there's a follow-up question on this. They say, well, what about these takeovers of the streets, even hypothetically speaking? Here's a hypothetical answer.
As far as the National Guard, how long are you going to keep them there? And if there is a takeover of a street in Seattle where they're barricading, keeping people out, the protesters are, would you want the Guard to be involved?
That's a hypothetical. Look, we've got to have safety. I'm sure that people will find a way to have public safety everywhere in the state. I'm confident of that. The National Guard is demobilizing. Over 2/3 of them were demobilized of yesterday. I don't know if they're completely demobilized at this point or not, but if not, that'll be shortly, I believe.
So you see what the reporter has to do, because Jay Inslee's not playing on the level here, is he's got to pretend like it's hypothetical. Say, okay, so hypothetically, if a bunch of communists and anarchists took over an entire neighborhood of Seattle, what would you do? You're not giving us an answer on what you're going to do because it is happening. So what about hypothetically? And then Inslee says, well, look, that's hypothetical. He then doesn't answer the question. And then the best he's got is, we're demobilizing the National Guard. The best he's got is, we're going to use less police force. We're going to use less force on the streets to stop this. Because he's like a robot. He's like a non-playing character in a video game, right? He's only got one mode, and the mode is leftism, at least in his rhetoric. So he says, well, the only thing I can possibly say about the police is we're going to take away their power. Even though, guess what? Right now, I think the people in Seattle probably want a little bit more police power on the streets. I think even if they're super duper left wing, they're looking around and saying, I don't want warlords running around and controlling my neighborhoods, so maybe give us a little more police power. But Inslee, a prisoner of his own ideology, can't compute that. And so even in the hypothetical, which is really happening, he can't give that answer.